Good morning. It's Wednesday the 6th of September 2023 and I've parked my car just beside Cow Green Reservoir. Unfortunately you can't see the reservoir at the moment. Yeah, the mist is hiding it really, so but never mind, it's going to be a nice day anyway. The sun's starting to break through already, so by the end of the walk we should clearly see the reservoir by then, so I'm looking forward to that. Okay, well I'll get on with the walk then. Lots of information here. Oh well. Right, okay, I'll get on. I've just got to follow this road for a while and then I'll be turning off along a footpath. The mist slowly began to clear as I walked back along the reservoir access road. After just over 2 miles, I reached a signpost where I turned right along a gated track. Today's walk is about 8 miles. However, as always, by the time you watch this, there will be a link to a route map in the description below the video. And I was actually planning on doing this walk yesterday. However, unfortunately, my car had a puncture, so I had a flat tyre. Flipping out, that was a pain. So of course I had to get that sorted as soon as possible. So I got the spare wheel on, and the nearest place to where I was staying was Barnard Castle. There was a tyre centre there, so I had to drive from Middleton to Barnard Castle. And I just said, well, I thought, well, I may as well get 2 new front tyres, because if one tyre goes, it's better to get a pair rather than just the one. So I asked for 2 new front tyres, which they said they could do that day, because I said, well, obviously I need them as soon as possible. But they couldn't do it until the back end of the day, so that was a bit of a pain, because I had to, it's a bit of a waste of a day really yesterday, because you know, I had to sort of hang around and wait for that to get sorted, so I couldn't really film a walk yesterday as I planned. So I feel I've lost a day's filming really, but there you go, one of those things. I shouldn't complain too much, because it was quite nice to have a more leisurely day, I suppose, really. I had a bit of a wander around Barnard Castle, and also it gave me the opportunity to look in some of the gift shops, because I always like to look in gift shops and see if there's any gifts I can take back home with me. So I was able to do that, so all was not lost really. But anyway, I've got 2 new front tyres now, so all being well, I won't have any more punctures whilst I'm up here in the North Pennines. So yeah, so as I say, today's walk should have been yesterday, but there you go. But I'm going to enjoy today's walk whatever. Yeah. The track meandered through upland pastures and hay meadows. As the mist continued to clear, I could see Cronkley Fell in the distance. I'm approaching Widdybank Farm, and I can see the River Tees ahead of me, so I should be rejoining that in a minute. I shall also be rejoining another section of the Pennine Way. just over the other side of the River Tees there, opposite the farm. That is called Cronkley Scar up there. Yeah. That certainly dominates the landscape at the moment, doesn't it? Okay. So I should be walking below that in a minute, just on the opposite side of the River Tees.
Passing through Widdybank Farm, I joined the Pennine Way and followed the roughening track beside the River Tees.
So I have now reunited with the Pennine Way and the River Tees. Here we go. Look at it from this side now then. Isn't that fantastic? And the walk ahead looks absolutely wonderful.
This was a delightful section of today's route, with the bouldered scattered tees flowing beneath the steep slopes and looming crags formed from the great wind sill. This vast landscape feature was created by molten rock rising through and penetrating layers of limestone and other rocks 295 million years ago, solidifying as a resistant outcrop of rock geologists call dolerite. Beyond the Kissing Gate, the track soon narrowed to a strip between craggy slopes and the Tees, shortly crossing the first of a long series of boulder fields.
Bit of a rocky path now. Take a little bit more care here. I imagine this will be fun when it's been wet. All the rocks are slippery. I've slipped a few times already and it's bone dry. But what a beautiful part of the walk this is. Absolutely gorgeous. Just words fail me really, it's just stunning. Ah, that's better. Path has become less rocky now, so a bit easier underfoot. Now there is one thing I ought to mention really whilst I'm here in the North Pennines this week. A year ago, it would have been actually the very same week a year ago, start of September, I was in the Lake District. And if you watch the films that I made back then, you may recall that I said that the Lake District holiday was the second of two holidays that I'd booked last year. The first holiday I had to cancel, which would have been at the end of May last year, beginning of June time. And the reason I had to cancel was literally a few days before I was due to go on holiday, I had a phone call from my local housing association offering me viewing of a flat. So I thought, what do I do? And I just thought, well, let's cancel the holiday because I can always do it another time. Because at the time I thought, well, it's more important to make sure that I get myself a new home. So I did that, and the holiday that I cancelled was of course here in the North Pennines. So yeah, I was originally meant to come to the North Pennines at the end of May, start of June last year. But I remember I'd been planning it for months beforehand, doing all my research online, all the places that I needed to visit. And then at the very last minute I just had the phone call offering me the viewing of the flat. So yeah, I just thought that would be more important. So at least I could postpone the holiday. So that's why I'm doing it now. over a year later. But yeah, it was a wise move on my part to do that, as I say, because North Pennines isn't going anywhere, and here I am finally, at last, exploring this wonderful part of England. So these cliffs above me, the cliffs are called Falcon Clints. Yeah, quite an impressive set of cliffs. Oh well, anyway, I think I shall sit on one of these many boulders and have my lunch.
Continuing below Falcon Clints, I reached a point where the Tees was joined by Mays Beck, a confluence overlooked by a solid stone barn.
Absolutely wonderful. It certainly is. And yep, I'm just having the most perfect week weather-wise. I couldn't have asked for a better week of weather.
As the Pennine Way began to curve to the right, I was soon greeted by another impressive sight.
Cauldron Snout! Absolutely fantastic!
Cauldron Snout has formed where the Tees has chiselled a way down through the wind sill over a spectacular cataract. The distinctive column-like joints of the dolerite rock are especially noticeable in this area. Here I had to scramble in some places, as I climbed the path immediately beside the falls.
Well, I think I can safely say that Cauldron Snout is my favourite set of waterfalls I've seen in the North Pennines. Absolutely wonderful. So this is where I leave the Pennine Way again on today's walk. Pennine Way continues over that bridge there. Mine going over that way, towards that dam. I wonder what could be behind that dam.
I turned right along the service road and followed it past the dam.
Cow Green Reservoir, fantastic. I can now see it in its full glory. Of course, I've parked at the car park here this morning, but because it was so misty, I couldn't see the water at all, so thankfully now I can. Beautiful. Now, if you've been watching my recent walks again, you may recall that last month, back in the Peak District, I did a walk that took me to a place called Chew Reservoir. And when I was there, I did say at the time that when that was built in 1912, at that time, at 1600 feet above sea level, it was the highest reservoir in England. The UK possibly, but certainly England. However, it was superseded later on by another reservoir. Cow Green. Now, Cow Green, building this was finished in 1971, I think. So I think now this is officially the highest reservoir in England. It's only about 4 foot higher than Chew Reservoir, so yeah, about 1604 feet. But yeah, I believe this is now the highest reservoir in England.
Cow Green Reservoir was filled to supply the industrial belt of distant Teesside and Middlesbrough. The area is a haven for ground nesting birds and is littered with rakes and shafts from the old lead ore and barite mines.
It's hard to imagine when I arrived here this morning that I couldn't see this water because of the mist. Now I can see it very clearly. Beautiful. Cow Green Reservoir. Okay, well that means I'm nearly at the end of the walk then. Just a short walk back to the car and I'm done. So yeah, another absolutely beautiful walk today. I particularly love that stretch on this part of Teesdale where you walk below Falcon Clint, and of course Cauldron Snout. Well, that was just something else. That waterfall was second to none. Yeah, easily my favourite waterfall I've seen so far in the North Pennines. So.
I went through a gate and turned left on a rough track. In 150 yards, I forked right on a path, which rejoined the road near the car park.